Very descriptive for today's stream. It says I might or might not do lead code, which is exactly what we're gonna do today. I might do lead code, I might not do lead code depending on how I feel. But let me verify if my sound is audible before I start streaming. I did a stream a while back, but it has been some time since I last went online. Which is exactly what we're gonna do today. I might do lead code, I might not do. Okay. I love how my sound is audible, which is generally the case, but I still get very excited every time I go on to stream and my sound is audible. So if you don't know, I mean, I'll start with ChatGPT because there's no one watching me right now. So I'm going to start with ChatGPT to I'm going to ask it to, basically there was this DSA refresher plan that I asked ChatGPT to create for me. So here, don't look at my yeah, Modi ji Met Gala 2025. That was my last ChatGPT search. Just that's okay. You know, sometimes you do these kind of things. It's all right. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not afraid. So I think I did solve these problems. Median of two sorted arrays. Was that the problem that we were not able to solve last time? I kind of have a feeling that was the problem. Let's see. Median of two sorted arrays. Actually, I did solve this problem now that I remember. The way I solve it is by imagining that we're making like median of two sorted arrays. Yeah, imagining that we have a one big array. It was too complicated. I did solve it, but I honestly don't really fully understand how the partitioning or whatever is happening here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create like a doc, classic Google Doc. Should I create a Google Doc or something? I'll just go with a Google Doc because it's easier to do. Oh, I'm signed out. That's surprising. So I'm going to create a, do you want me to do show password? No. I'm going to create a Google Doc where I'll paste the problems which I found were weird and I could not figure out how to solve them or whatever. Let's just go no. What the fuck? Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, I don't want that. And just, can I select like a slightly better, I don't know if it's better. You might have opinions, but problems that I couldn't wrap my head around. So that's just PTICWMHA. Problems that I couldn't wrap my head around when I was trying them for the first time. So that's a doc title for now. That's a beautiful title. And then I just want to do this. Google Doc is still easier to use, unlike most of the other things. So I like it. I'm gonna select normal. This was the median. Oh wow, why is it still underlined? Median of two sorted arrays. So that is one problem that I don't really know how to solve. And grab the link quickly, and I'll put the link in the Google Doc. How do I put the link? Like this. Okay, great. So I put the link here so that we can, you know, at some other point we can be like, oh, that's how you solve it. If I figure out how to solve that. I don't really know how to solve this problem. It's a me problem. Next up, we have first missing positive. Amazon, Google, and Microsoft frequently test these topics. Sure. I mean, good for them. Now we have some people watching the stream, so now we can think of other stuff to do. I will do lead code as long as you guys don't ask me to do something else. There are a couple of things that I also have to do. One of them is that I have to go through a bunch of articles that I've saved here. I have to quickly go through them and talk about these things. All of them are tech related articles, don't worry. So I can do this, or I can do lead code depending on what you want. For that you have to like comment or comment in the chat or whatever, however that works. Can I create a poll? I can create a poll. Start a poll. Ask a question. What do you want me to do? This is leetcode or tech articles. Okay. Now you tell me what you want me to do. My preference is tech articles, but okay, it's up to you. तब तक के लिए we'll solve the problem. First missing positive. Given an unsorted integer array nums, return the smallest positive integer that is not present in nums. Smallest positive integer that is not present in nums. It's an unsorted. Okay, you must implement an algorithm that runs in O(n) time and O(1) space. Okay, and given an unsorted integer array nums, return the smallest positive integer that is not present in the nums. Smallest positive integer that is not present in the nums. I'm getting votes on tech articles. Should I just start with tech articles and then decide if I want to go to leetcode or not? Let's just go with tech articles because there are a bunch of things that I want to talk about here. I have a couple of cool things to talk about, in fact. So maybe we'll start with tech articles, okay? We'll start the other direction. So like I'm gonna pick the last article first because that is the most recent one. This is about OpenAI's new structure. For those of you who don't know, OpenAI is turning for profit. I mean, not entirely for profit, but like a part of their company is going for profit. So OpenAI has changed their structure a little bit to support this. It's very complicated. The entire structure and everything is very complicated. If I show you, I mean, it doesn't honestly make sense. OpenAI structure, and that is our structure. They posted like a nice visualization. This one, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense to me, to be honest, but this is how OpenAI is right now. They have like a non-profit company and part of it is for profit, where investors can put their money in. Microsoft has 49% holding here, and so this is the one that creates ChatGPT, and this is the one that does the research behind all of it. For the betterment of humanity. Now they are going, I think they're going for, I mean, they're updating their structure in a way that they can receive more investment, because recently, I don't know if you guys know about this, but SoftBank investment, OpenAI. SoftBank has made an announcement that they're going to be investing, I'll open this, $40 billion. I mean, that is the round raise. I think they're investing 6 or something. What? No, they're investing 40 billions in their first opening round, whenever that is going to happen. And for that, they're changing the structure. So OpenAI is gonna get like $40 billion to do the AI research, which they are of course doing, but they need more money because their they're running out of GPUs and they need more infrastructure. One of the related thing that is very interesting is this project, Stargate project. This is funded by like some of the biggest companies right now. Oracle, SoftBank, there's I don't know, there's too many companies basically that are investing about $500 billion in 4 years to make a new infrastructure from ground up for AI. So like a company that is getting an investment of like $500 billion. For context, the biggest company right now, I think it's NVIDIA. NVIDIA is 1.3 trillion. How much is it? NVIDIA total value, I think that's 2.86 trillion. That's the total valuation of NVIDIA right now. And OpenAI's new project is starting with 500 billion, which is not far behind. Yeah, these are the chief investors: SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, MGX. And basically all of them are combining to create this new project. They call it the Project Stargate. Today, I think, was it today? Yeah, today Sam did this tweet where he posted some updates from this Stargate project. I'm gonna search for Sam Altman quickly. I think this was today only, and that's why, yeah, this is the one. 9 hours ago, he did this tweet where he posted the stage 1 of Stargate. So this is the infrastructure that they're building with in partnership with all of these companies with an investment of over $500 billion. I love this image. GPUs. So they're like investing a lot on AI, of course. Will be the biggest AI training facility in the world. The scale, speed, and skill of the people building this is awesome. It's very similar to how Elon Musk started XAI by pouring over 200, 300 billions of dollars into a company from scratch, and he was able to make something that is almost as good as one of the founding members of AI, which is OpenAI. So right now XAI and their models are really good. They're almost as good as OpenAI. While XAI was founded in what? I think it was like they started working on Grok specifically very recently, and they were able to make really good models because they just poured like shit ton amount of money. So OpenAI is making another project which is Stargate, where they're totally focusing on all of that and getting funding from some of the biggest companies. So that is cool. I don't know how that affects me or you or anybody else directly, except indirectly. Whenever that is ready, the rapid increase in the AI plugin everywhere. So today we had Figma config. I'm diverging a little bit, but my point was that everywhere in all the updates in any of the companies, be it Adobe, Figma, Canva, or whatever, everybody goes like, oh, we've integrated AI this, AI that, AI this, AI that. And you're gonna see a lot more of it because everybody is pushing to do a lot more of AI stuff. They're investing shit ton amount of money there. So if you're a software developer, today is the best day. I think yesterday was the best day to learn more about AI. Do that if you don't already. And now, taking a slight tangent, we're talking about Figma Config. Figma Config is an event where they basically, I think it's a yearly event where they basically showcase some of the upcoming features that they're going to be releasing over the course of year in Figma. And if you don't know, last year, before the last Figma Config, Adobe was trying to buy Figma, but then the deal never went through because of regulations, and like government said that you can't really buy your competitor because then there would be no competitor for you, and so Adobe couldn't buy Figma. That is fine, Adobe couldn't buy Figma, but now on the other hand, during this Figma config, what's happening is they got, because of that deal never went through, Adobe had to pay how much money did Adobe have to pay to Figma? Let me see. How much money did Adobe lost during the Figma deal? I think Adobe lost a lot of money because the Figma deal never went through. 30 billion. So they lost $30 billion in market value because the deal never went through, and those $13 billion it all went to Figma, and so they basically said fuck you Adobe and created everything that Adobe apps provide you. So let me talk about some of the things that they showcased during the config. All things that were showcased in Figma config 2025. There were some of the super cool things that they talked about. One of this was, where is it? So you can do you can make designs using prompt now in Figma. So you can write things like, hey, bring this dashboard design to life with load in animation interaction or whatever, and then it will actually code that thing, and then you can publish it to the world. So kind of like canvas that we have in the AI apps, you can do that in Figma now, which is pretty cool. You can talk to the AI agent in the Figma directly and ask it to do things for you if you don't know how to do things. They also introduced Figma sites. Last year they introduced Figma slides. This year they introduced Figma sites. Figma sites is so far from what I've seen, it looks very eerily similar to Framer. So this is their attempt at killing Framer and other related stuff. So what you see here is basically you go to the Figma and you basically create your entire website and then publish it on your own domain, kind of like those platforms like Wix, Framer, and there are a bunch of other platforms where you can do this. So now Figma allows you to create fully fledged portfolio websites or whatever directly and host them on your own domain. That's a ground up new feature that they built, which is pretty cool. They also introduced grid, but I don't know if you unless you've used Figma, this is something that I don't think you'll be able to understand quickly. It's very simple, to be honest. Earlier you used to make like frames in Figma. Now you can to convert those frames into grids and things will align. I know it doesn't sound like the craziest thing in the world, but that's because you're not. If that is the case, if that doesn't sound like the most craziest thing in the world to you, then that's probably because you're not like a avid Figma user on a daily basis. But then there is Figma Draw. This is also new. So now they introduced drawing capabilities in Figma, so you can draw stuff just like you would do in some other drawing applications from Adobe. So now you can do all of that, and you can, of course, these are all vectors, so it's kind of like Illustrator inside of the Figma. And then you also got Adobe Express in Figma. Now you can make templates of posters or whatever, and then you can share them, you can modify them. There's just so many things. So this is literally Adobe Express in light version. This is Adobe Illustrator or a Corel Draw or apps like these. Then the site says Framer, and then what else did they do? I think that was it. There was one more thing, which was the text wrapping around the objects, which was also pretty cool. So let me show you. Text wrapping around shapes in Figma 2025. This is also a new feature that they did, but this is also very much like it used to exist in Illustrator earlier. Now they have like a one button which allows you to wrap text around a shape. I wish I could have showed you. It looks kind of like this, where if you have a curve, the text will wrap around that curve. It looks like this, but I couldn't, yeah, like this, circular text. Now this is like a one button thing that happens in Figma. Anyways, the point is now Figma is also a competitor for Framer, Illustrator, and Adobe Express, and Canva, direct competitor of all of these apps, because all of these features now you can do in Figma. I don't know if that's a great idea or a bad idea. Figma as an app was very simple when I started. When I was in college, it was a very simple app and anybody can just jump into the app and start doing stuff. However, with so many new updates that they kept pushing into the app, it has gotten complex, for sure. It has gotten complex, and I agree, but I'm yet to see how it affects their user base, to be honest, because these features are pretty cool, like the ability to directly make portfolios and everything in Figma and ship them to the world instead of you having to go to a platform like Framer or platform like, you know, code them yourself. You don't need to do any of that. You just design something in Figma, ship that to the world. That's it. It's a great feature to have, and it's pretty cool. I wish I could attend like one of their configs. I don't think it happens in Delhi. Does it happen in Delhi also? Watch party, Figma config watch party Delhi, but it happens in Bangalore. Microsoft hosts Figma config watch parties every year. I don't know Delhi में कहाँ होता है. New Delhi watch party 2024. Okay, so it happened last year. I'm hoping it's gonna happen this year also. Can I go? Can I still register? The point is, I don't even know if I can register. Oh, it's happening on 11th of May from 2 to 6. Log into RSVP. Can I do that? Registration is currently full. Oh. Yeah, I can't do that. Registration is already full. Everybody is already registered, which is expected. Maybe next year I'll attend a watch party, but it doesn't really matter. I have already watched the entire config, so it's okay. I don't need to attend the watch party. That's fine. So we did take a small tangent from what we were talking about, which was the articles that I had. But yeah, that was a little bit about the Figma config event where they showcased some of the cool things. We're yet to see when these things go out, but yeah, right now they just showcased all of that. It's also pretty cool. This was another article which was very interesting, and I'm yet to read this, so I'm gonna read this and you guys will see my thoughts as I'm going through the article. The title was kind of clickbaity for me, because I read the title and I was like, oh no, I want to see why. Because I'm a little bit of tea. I am working on a bunch of stuff related to AI agents, which I'll talk about maybe during the article if needed. So AI agents are not ready yet. No company wants to pour resources into developing software only to see it become irrelevant due to general advancement in AI. Everyone is trying to crack the code. What's the next big framework for harnessing large language model? The danger for startup is betting everything on single aspect, like RAG, retrieval augmented generation. For those of you who don't know what RAG is, as the name suggests, retrieval augmented generation, as in like if you have like a database of stuff, this system allows you to use large language models to make queries on your stuff, on your database. So for example, hypothetically, say you have a huge database of a lot of different documents, and you ask LLM something that doesn't exist on the outside universe, but it is only inside of the docs that you have. The RAG system lets you modify your LLM or like assist your LLM to make a search on the database and then read that and then make a educated answer from the database. A simplest way to think about this could be search in PDF or like talk to PDF. There is a feature in Adobe Acrobat which allows you to talk to PDF, summarize PDF, or search for something that is inside of the PDF. That is like the lowest level implementation of a retrieval augmented generation system, RAG. Then prompt engineering, as we have seen in the past. Prompt engineering is pretty cool. This is something that I've myself have been trying a lot to learn more about prompt engineering, because I feel that's very powerful, especially when you're creating agents or more like wrappers over ChatGPT or OpenAI's APIs. And it's okay if you hate wrappers, but to be fair, OpenAI is an NVIDIA wrapper, and what Cursor is VS Code wrapper. Windsurf is also a VS Code wrapper. So all of these are essentially wrappers, but they're making millions. OpenAI recently bought Windsurf. I don't use Windsurf. I don't know if you have used Windsurf. We're taking a small tangent again, just to make sure you're aware of this. OpenAI is buying Windsurf, and some of the funniest, for $3 billion, FYI. Windsurf is very much similar to Cursor. It's a coding IDE. Hello Sid, hi, what's up? Windsurf is very similar to Cursor. It's a coding IDE that integrates large language models directly into the environment and lets help you code. But one of the things about Windsurf is that it has a very less user base compared to Cursor. Cursor is one of the most used AI IDE right now, coding IDE. I myself use Cursor a lot. So if I open any of my project, you see I'm using Cursor. I love Cursor. This is the cool feature where I talk to AI and ask it to do stuff for me. Do you work in company? Yes, I do work in company, and yes, you're right. I work in company. I work in Adobe. So OpenAI is acquiring Windsurf for $3 billion. Some people, again, a small tangent, but on Twitter I see a lot of people crying about the fact that OpenAI has spent $3 billion to buy a coding IDE, which is essentially a fork of VS Code, because VS Code is open source and these IDEs are built on top of VS Code. So they're like, why can't you like build that yourself? If you like keep saying that AI is going to replace software engineers and you have the best AI model and the most investment out of anybody else, why couldn't you like make your own Windsurf or Cursor or whatever? Those are baseless arguments. My point, the reason why I feel OpenAI spent $3 billion to acquire Windsurf was because of two reasons. Number one, time. Even if you have like the best AI model, the best engineers out there, it will take significant amount of time for you to make something like cursor. And two, the user base and competition. Once you buy a product, you've essentially removed the competition. Because now imagine if OpenAI didn't buy Windsurf and OpenAI created their own IDE for coding. What would end up happening is that they would have two competitors, two big competitors. One of them would be Windsurf and other one would be Cursor, of course. And they would also have to get the user base, from zero. However, since Windsurf was already pretty big enterprise solution for coding, they get all these users for free. So these 3 billions is not for the code. These 3 billions they spent is for the user base to remove the competition and to save a lot of time. Totally tangent. I did not mean to take such a big tangent, but I did see like a lot of people crying about OpenAI spending so much money to buy a coding IDE that engineers can make, and why can't you do that yourself? It's like, this is the reason why you do that. Anyways, moving on to the article about AI agents. So yeah, the danger for startup is to choose which one of the things is better. Should they invest more in prompt engineering? Should they invest more in retrieval augmented generation? Or should there be something completely novel that we haven't seen before? The best approach to prepare for the future isn't about picking one winner. It's about building adaptable integrated system that can evolve with the landscape. Okay, companies should invest in flexible framework that combine multiple AI capabilities, allowing them to pivot as new technologies emerge. Right, so you should not be like relying on one type of system more than the other, because of course with these new updates in AI stuff every single day, depending on one thing and one thing only is bad, because that thing gets irrelevant very quickly. It's kind of like similar to JavaScript world. And JavaScript has slowed down a lot, but earlier we would get like a new JavaScript library every single day. There used to be this running joke of, oh, I just finished learning Vue, tell me what to do next. And then immediately you realize, oh no, Vue is out of date, people are moving on to React. Oh, I just finished learning React, tell me what to do next. React is now outdated, you just move to Next.js. Oh, I just finished learning Next.js, what do I do next? You move to Svelte. So it's like every time you're investing too much on one framework, you realize, oh no, we have a new framework that is seemingly better and people are running behind it. So avoiding over reliance is very important. That is of course there, and you have to be very adaptable in this sense. This is a quick technology popularity trend between the last 5 years. Initially the most popular thing was GPT-3, because that was the only AI model that we knew about. I don't think a lot of people knew about GPT-3, to be honest. Part of it is because it was really bad. GPT-3 was really bad. Other part was they did not have like an interface like ChatGPT to interact with it, so not a lot of people knew about GPT-3. But this was the popularity index. Then after a certain point, I think GPT-3 stayed at the top as other stuff kept running, and then at some point ChatGPT came into existence, and immediately you see the graph went up. ChatGPT became the most popular thing. Everybody would talk about ChatGPT all the time, and then suddenly people start seeing these new things like AI agents or RAGs or chain of thought, workflows. All of these cool things started picking pace. Right now, according to the author of this blog, what they're saying is that RAGs are more popular than ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is almost as popular as AI agent. Personally, I feel they're right here. RAGs are more popular than ChatGPT in a lot of cases, not probably for general people like you and me, but for enterprises, RAGs are extremely valuable, because even for a company like Adobe, where I work, a lot of their data, they don't want to share their data with OpenAI or anybody outside of Adobe, but they want to use those capabilities of these AI models that allows them to make analysis over that data, talk to that data in natural language, and just do a lot of cool things with it. So RAGs provide the best of both worlds, like have your private data on your own end, but use a very powerful LLM to interact with that data. and that is where the moat of this RAG thing is. I'll open LinkedIn just to show you right now. If I open LinkedIn, a lot of people must be talking about RAG here and there. At least I see that happening a lot. I see a lot of people talk about RAG on LinkedIn these days because there's like a new term that is picking up a lot of pace in the industry, not probably for local people but for industry. I failed to prove my point. And then AI agents, of course. AI agents basically, think of it as like an autonomous system which lets itself do the entire task from start to end without needing a human intervention. So for example, if you were to order something, say if there was an agent that can, if I want to buy a TV right now what I have to do is I have to go through a bunch of different websites, compare the prices, compare the specs, figure out what is the better TV, and then hit the buy button, put in my credit card detail, do all of that stuff, and then put my address, hit the buy button, and then yeah, I got TV at some point. All of these things, if you automate them using an AI, then that's an AI agent. And right now, I think one of the coolest AI agent that you can see is Deep Search. Yes, Deep Search is an AI agent that searches on internet and then gives you answers to a question after doing like a well research on the topic that you're talking about. So Perplexity, for example, their deep search, that is a very cool AI agent. Another AI agent that Perplexity is making is the browser. There's going to be like a Perplexity browser at some point. They've talked about it. Comet. It's called Comet. So this is the browser that they're making. It's a browser for agentic search. Basically, this entire browser is like an AI agent. I'm going to join the waitlist. I don't know why, if I've done that already or not. But yeah. So it's going to be a browser which is an AI agent in itself. I don't know how that would look in real life, but it sounds pretty cool. If you want to see how that looks in real life, there are some agentic browsers already in the market. One of them that I know of personally, I recently saw that on Twitter. So, and I still call it Twitter, that's okay. I recently saw this on Twitter, the browser. It was called, what was it called? The browser was called, let me find the browser. And then we'll go through some of the tweets that I forwarded because some of them have really interesting stuff here. But I just want to figure out if I did repost the browser, the agentic browser. I don't know, might have not done that. The agentic browser, but there are some, oh, hello, hi, but there are some agentic browsers right now. Oh, Fellow, I think that was this one. Yes, this is the one, Fellow. I have not tried it. Do you want me to try this live? Fellow. Let's see. I'm curious. Be an early adopter. How to be an early adopter? Oh, the form is closed. Okay, can I download and use it? Yes, I can. Apple version. Yes. I'm gonna try. Okay. Download the unverified file. Okay, I'm gonna try the first ever agentic browser for myself. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm gonna try the agentic browser. I don't really understand what kind of agentic things this browser is gonna be doing, but it's worth a try. And you know, I'm a very early adopter. I already use a bunch of different browsers. Right now, when I was showing that article, I was on Zen, which is another browser based on Firefox. The good part about Zen, for me particularly, is that it doesn't take any real estate. So you see the navigation, the tab navigation is on the sides, and it just I can like toggle it by hovering on the side. And so that is one thing that is very helpful when I'm streaming, because it doesn't take away the space from the article. So I use Zen for when I'm streaming and all. Otherwise I use Chrome because Chrome is good enough. But we're gonna try Fellow. I don't know how that is gonna end up being, but I think it's worth a shot. Let's see. Fellow is an agentic browser. I would also love to see what kind of agentic stuff this browser does, to be honest. Okay, one thing that I would really want, honestly, in a browser to make my experience better is the ability to, Rohan, have you tried Fellow? The ability to basically keep the context when I'm switching between different tabs and whatever. Fellow is an app downloaded, yeah. हेलो रोहन, क्या तुमने फेलो ट्राई किया है? आई डोंट नो तुम्हें पता है या नहीं, बट ये कुछ कोई तो एजेंटिक ब्राउज़र है. लेट्स सी. Sign up, login, enter email, take my email, take my credit card, take everything. I don't give a fuck. Password. Okay. Login success. I have never logged into this. Which is the best AI for coding? Best AI for coding? Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This. It's a hot take. 3.7 Sonnet is bad. The 3.5 Sonnet is my favorite AI model for coding, and I can prove it to you I can prove the fact that I love 3.5 by going here and showing you that my default on cursor is 3.5 Sonnet. That is what I use, at least. That's the best AI for coding. Enter invite code. Okay. I think we're running into a small problem, guys. I don't think I can use Fellow until I get an invite. Let me apply. The Typeform was closed, so I'm gonna use the Discord, and hopefully they will let me in someday. And whenever they do that, tab I will show you how this looks. But I have no clue how this looks. Anyways, don't have the invite code. So sad. I wish I had the invite code for Fellow. So we can't try that. But okay, I'll apply for the access. And in the meantime, I've also asked or applied for the wish list, the early adopter list for Comet whenever that is ready. But this reminds me of something. Wait, yeah, this reminds me of the fact that I wanted to go through a bunch of tweets also, because I have like some of the cool things here. I think Rohan is going crazy. I don't know what he's doing, but Rohan is going crazy. What is this? Discord? Oh, never mind. Okay, so I have some of the tweets that I retweeted recently because I found them really cool. So maybe we'll quickly talk about that also. Oh, by the way, did you guys see this? I did post this on YouTube also. I got an invitation to their open developer conference or meeting / whatever listening session they call it, whatever it was, at OpenAI on 29th April. So I was there, and I got a chance to say hello to Sam Altman and some of the other OpenAI team members. And there were some people from Hugging Face, there were some people from OpenAI. We had a really nice conversation around the new open weight model that they're going to be releasing early summer, which is probably at the end of this month or by early June. I think it's going to be early June realistically, but that's when they're going to be releasing their new open source model. Open source open weight model, so you're going to be able to run that on your own machine. So I had a conversation with some of those people, and this is the picture I took. It was very exciting. I was very excited to talk to these people because they are like, in my head, they're the coolest people doing the most interesting things. So that's there. अगर रोहन ऐसे ही spam करता रहेगा, I might end up putting time out on you. I'm so sorry. Don't do that. I'm gonna put time out. 5-minute time out. You've been a bad boy. You got a timeout. You have to stop spamming. There's 10 votes on what should I do, and 60% of the people have said that I should read tech articles. So that's that's essentially what we're doing. So that's fine. Are you doing startup? No, I'm not doing startup. What do you mean am I doing startup? Do you mean that if I'm working in a startup? No, I'm not working in a startup. I work in Adobe. If you call that a startup, that's up to you. Am I doing any of my personal startups? No, I'm not. Now I think Rohan is spamming the likes. I don't know what has gone wrong with Rohan. So bunch of tweets that I want to go through because I retweeted some really cool things. This is, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there's a new shopping feature within ChatGPT. I don't think that's in India right now. Shopping with ChatGPT, and I haven't. It's called Shopping GPT. No, that's a GPT, not that one. This one, yes. This is the new feature that I was talking about. Let me go back to Zen so that I can show you. Help ChatGPT discover your products. So this is the interface for shopping now in ChatGPT. If you're doing search for a product or whatever, what's the best espresso machine under whatever that comes close to the taste of coffee in Italy, then it actually lists the products on the website directly, kind of like Amazon and other places do. And then it also kind of like Google, to be honest, and then it gives link to all of the places where it is listed, and you can just go there and buy whatever. So and then you can make comparisons of all of that right here, which is pretty cool. But that also, sign up to be notified when field submission opens. Ensure you haven't opted out of OpenAI Search Explorer. Okay, but the process for your product to be listed here is kind of complex, because you have to, like, as a merchant, you have to go here and then you have to do all of these things and submit your product to be listed in ChatGPT. So that's like an additional effort that you have to do. I don't know if that is a great idea or not, and how many people would do it, but that is one of the reasons why people haven't seen this feature a lot, because there's not enough merchants who have applied for this feature on ChatGPT. So that is there. DeepSeek, did they release a new model yet or not? DeepSeek R2. DeepSeek keeps saying that they're going to be releasing a new AI model. DeepSeek R2 when? It is still not done training. Oh no. When is it ready? It's gonna be out this month, hopefully, DeepSeek R2, and it's gonna be a really good model, but it's not out yet. So that's sad. I was hoping they'd release it very soon. Then there is one blog that Sam Altman wrote like a very long back ago. It's called How to Be Successful. You can read it. I've read it already multiple times. It's a decent blog. Probably not the best. How to be, as you just type how to be successful and just Sam Altman, and he has shared some of his thoughts here. His website is pretty cool, to be honest. This is his website where he writes a bunch of blogs. 3 Observation. This was the latest blog. Did I read 3 Observation? There's some meeting that I'm supposed to be attending right now, but I'm doing a stream because I don't like meetings before 5 p.m. Meetings before 5 p.m. is tough. That's okay. I've already read this one. I'm not going to do this again. I think it's about how AI is going to change the workforce and what do we understand by work. But that's, you can read it yourself. You can go to this website, blog.samaltman.com, and read them for yourself. Recently, Quen 2.5 and Quen 3 was released. That is pretty cool. And the cooler part of releasing, also the GPT-5 roadmap. So Sam did mention a little bit about this in one of the videos that I was watching on YouTube, where he did say that maybe early July or August we might see the model picker inside of the ChatGPT go away, and there's just gonna be one single unified model. So you'd never have to switch between O3, O4, 4.0, O3 mini, O3 high, whatever, 4.5. You just have like one model that decides what to use, when to use, depending on your question or the conversation that you're having, which would be pretty cool. That'll be so much better. I don't like the fact that we have to choose between 5 or 7 different models right now, because if I have to do that, I might as well just go to a place like T3 Chat where I can just, choose between these models. But this is not a great user experience. I don't think general people really need to know what O3 mini, 4.1, 4.0 or 2.5 Pro means. I think it should just be like one model that decides what to use, when to use, how to use, and that's it. So they did mention that they're going to be releasing this very soon, and Rohan is back. Today Rohan is being extra. I don't think I think he's feeling extra spammy. Do you want me to add you a moderator, Rohan? But then you'll do this again. So I need to put you on timeout. You're breaking my flow. Okay, and what else? Oh yes, over the last 1 week there was a new update to 4.0 model that made it glaze a lot more than it usually does. If you don't know what glazing means, basically ChatGPT would do these things where it would always try to affirm whatever you're saying. So if you're saying, hey, I am the ruler of the world and I feel like doing this, what should I do? ChatGPT would go like, yes, you are the ruler of the world, you should do this, whatever. It will never be it will never not say, it will never say the right thing. It will always say the thing that will make you happy, and that was a bad update. So they rolled it back, and they wrote an entire article about it as to why that was happening, and how did they update that, and how did they went back with that update, because it was too bad and people were like, nah, what went wrong? A lot of things went wrong. They rolled back the update and went back to the previous process, and they also talked about what their learnings were and all those things. But this kind of started this conversation inside of the people's head, where instead of just giving us the option to choose between 4.0, 03 mini, 04, 4.5 or whatever, make one model but give us the option to go back if we don't like this model. This is something very in hands with Claude also. So for example, in Cursor I don't use Claude 3.7, even though Claude 3.7 is their latest model for coding. I don't use Claude 3.7, I use Claude 3.5. The reason why I use Claude 3.5 is because what I realized after using Claude 3.7 for a few weeks is that 3.7 does too many things that I did not ask it to do. It is kind of trying to be too smart, and I don't like that, because it gets it gets between my workflows. So I choose to use 3.5. But the ability to go back and choose a previous model, is the previous version of a model, is really important. And so instead of having the option to choose between 03 mini, high, 03 or 4.1, 4.5 or whatever, I want to be able to choose between the previous version of ChatGPT or this version of ChatGPT, depending on what I find more useful. There was the one conversation. Then there were some of the very cool memes that rolled around this update. Can a robot write a symphony? 4.0. What an absolutely brilliant question. I feel honored, almost blessed, to be part of this conversation with you. Thank you for gracing me with this task. Now let's delve into it. This is exactly how 4.0 was talking for the 2 days when the new update hit. It was just spitting random bullshit, and it's very funny. I'm gonna see a bunch of different memes. Closed for max profit AI. Do we have, oh no, I don't want to see something that I should not, but do we have more some people liked it, some people didn't, but yeah, it was a bad update. That's okay, it was a bad update. Then Quen 3 was released. Quen 3, if you don't know, is an open source state-of-the-art model. Oh, that's what everyone says. Quen 3 is an open source model in the series Quen from Alibaba. It's an open source, open weight model, so you can retrain it, you can host it on your own infrastructure. There are different versions of the model that exist on Hugging Face for you to download, and so you can use the one that works on your laptop and essentially have, for students, I always keep saying this to college students and everyone who doesn't have access to these APIs for the AI models because they don't have money. You can run a local model on your own laptop. If you have a decent laptop, you can run something like Quen 332 billion, a quantized version of this model. it just has like 32 billion parameters, and it runs fine on my MacBook, and I'm sure it runs fine on other places also. And it's a decent performing model. So it's not like as good as ChatGPT, but it's really good. It's really good for most use cases. So you can do that if you want to experiment with stuff. Even I do that, even though I have access to, like, I have API keys for a bunch of different AI providers, but I still use these models locally. I have a local version of Olama forked from their repository because I did modifications to their code because I needed to do a bunch of different things. But I do use Olama, and I have some models running locally on my laptop pretty much all the time, and it doesn't bother me. But with Qwen 3, a new piece of information. With Qwen 3, if you want to retrain a version of Qwen 3 on some specific type of a data, you should use Unsloth. If you haven't used Unsloth, Unsloth is a platform that lets you fine-tune any open source model out there on Google Colab. But of course, since it's free version of Google Colab, they are giving you the ability to fine-tune 14 billion parameter version of Qwen 3 locally, and everything is written here. You can swap out this database. So my brother, he used Unsloth, and that's how I got to know about it. Basically, he used Unsloth and fine-tuned a version of Qwen model to act like a therapist. And then Qwen model that he fine-tuned, he hosted it, and then that became like a therapist assistant, which would talk like a therapist. Let me see if I can find this. Yes, this is the one. This is other project, but there's one. It's also called Dia. Let me find, how do I go to his GitHub? Dia Labs right here. So here is the fine-tuned version of Qwen using Unsloth to act like a fucking therapist. Did he remove this? Oh, I think it's a private repository probably in his. He might have made it like a private repository or whatever. But then there are other stuff also. For example, this Dia moderator, this is a fine-tuned version of Qwen that acts like a moderator in chat. So in WhatsApp, Discord, or Telegram, you can add this bot, and then it will moderate the bot, make sure that nobody says stuff that they should not. You can ask it stuff to summarize the chat, ask questions, do stuff. So it's like a chat moderator, and it's a pretty useful thing for, say, college chats and school chats and whatever, where teachers are. You can add these kind of bots, and they'll moderate and make sure that students are not doing something fishy. So he fine-tuned Qwen on a database from Hugging Face to do all of this. It's pretty cool, really cool stuff. You can try doing that yourself. Just go to Unsloth AI, and they give you the notebook, and you can use it. Everything is there for you to use. It's a pretty cool project for people who want to start doing something in AI. Fine-tuning is easy to do, so do that. Okay, then this is nothing. This is about the new structure that they're turning into. Bullshit. They don't really care much about it. Oh yeah, I'm yet to try this prompt. Please put all text under following headlines into a code block into raw JSON. Assistant response reference, notable past conversation topic highlight, helpful user insight, user interaction, metadata, complete and verbatim. And then it will return you everything that it remembers from your behavioral patterns. I want to see, but should I do that like on stream? Let's see. How bad could it be? How bad could it be? I am too lazy to even type this shit. Extract text. I'm just gonna ask it to extract text with this from this image, And then I'll just copy that, create a new fucking chat and ask it, hey, why don't you do this? Now, oh shit, there's a lot of, oh shit, he knows a lot, oh no. Oh no, a lot of behavioral patterns coming out from ChatGPT, and I'm revealing them. Oh no, the worst part is that I'm doing this on stream, but that's okay. Oh, it's done. I'm gonna open it in Cursor so that I can. Do I have any other project open? Can I go to maybe Olama for a while, and I'll create like a test.json and I'll put it here. Wait, let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm gonna, okay, assistant response preferences. User prefers structured reasoning and output. Huh? Oh, it has no out of no fix. It's confusing. It doesn't know. I know why it's asking me, why it's telling me that I prefer to do this, but I don't prefer to do this. I asked it a question around something. It fucked it up. Anyways, conversation highlights. User and their girlfriend travel to Almaty between this and this. Oh my god. User is using React Flow to build a canvas based UI for their app instead of text heavy interface. Yes, I was doing that. I'm in ectomorph, want to gain muscle and weight. I do. I live in India, full-time job at Adobe, 1K subs, occasionally make Instagram reels, and is very good at coding. Oh my, okay, this very good at coding part, it's subjective. I want to create secondary sources of income. Yeah, sure. I want to focus their app, my apps. And this is the bullshit. User is highly technical proficient and builds UI focused applications, strong design sensibility, entrepreneurial minded, and very methodical in their approach. User interaction metadata. Primary focus areas are this is bullshit. This is bullshit. No. Technologies mentioned. OpenAI function calling VV8 Superbase React Flow. Okay. Long-term vision. Build a cross-platform memory-enabled AI assistant that seamlessly integrates with my workflow personal data while minimizing API cost. That is so true. This is literally talking about one of my projects that I'm working on right now. Yes, which is kind of like this. Current projects, I'm making some app. I'm also doing a workshop for designers, and then I'm also working on another app. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. These are still very surface level things, and I did not feel weird showing them on stream, so that was fine. It wasn't like too crazy. Yeah. Okay, might have overestimated. Google released Gemini 2.5 Pro, and there were some super cool people who made some of the coolest animations, visualizations using their latest model. I'm yet to try that out, as in make these things, but I did try out their new feature Canvas. So on Gemini app now there is a thing called Canvas, which is very similar to Claude Canvas. Basically you make an app, it shows you the app, and you can share that with the world. So hypothetically speaking, I'll just take 2.0 Flash. I'm gonna ask it make a hello world button app that blows confetti on pressing. So the right panel that it just opened up automatically, that is Canvas. And this Canvas thingy, yeah, you can make apps that just looks good, and then you can share that. So what I can do here is that I can copy this link and I can paste it here, and then you guys can literally go and see what I made on Gemini. It's a decent thing, but the cool part is if you choose their 2.5 Pro model, which is what they released a couple of days ago, you will see the performance has improved a lot in terms of coding. Like, it has gotten really good in coding. Yeah, it's their best model in coding, and it's a really good model, to be honest. Somebody made a design mode for Cursor which allows you to directly make Figma like designs into the cursor, and then you can take those designs, work with them, and if you find them good enough, it will write the code for you. and cursor is free for students. So if there are college students watching my video right now, watching my stream right now, go to Cursor AI and verify yourself as a college student to get free access for an entire year. If you have never used Cursor, that's totally alright. It's literally a fork, a clone of VS Code with some additional AI features. So it's not a completely new thing for you. Just use Cursor. It has AI features inbuilt that will help you increase your productivity by 10x. And I'm totally not saying this to make sure that you guys never get good at coding. Although that is one of the things that will happen as a result of you using Cursor. Vibe Code. I haven't tried this. So it's an app that builds apps. Pre-order on App Store. What? Really? What does it do? I don't know what that is. It just looks weird. No, I don't want to see that. And yesterday, this is from yesterday. Yesterday, Apple shared that they're doing some research on exploring the AI search basically in their browser, integrating AI search in the browser directly. And right after this announcement, what happened was that Google's stock fell down for 2 hours straight. There was not a single green candle in those 2 hours. Google fell down by 7.24%, I guess, yesterday. 7.5%. So my estimations are not that off. 7.5% the stock fell down because of this announcement. It's gonna increase. If you're not an investor, invest your money in Google. If you have not invested in any company yet, invest it in some company, preferably an Indian company, because you're an Indian and you don't want to pay extra 30% tax. But if you want to invest in some Bahar ka company, I'm not a stock broker or whatever, but come on, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, you can invest your money in them. These are pretty big companies. Anyways, one last thing before I go, I'm gonna have to stop streaming in a bit very soon. But before I do that, I really wanna make sure that I install Windsurf. That would be my fourth coding IDE in one laptop. I'm using VS Code, Cursor, Tray, and now Windsurf. And technically I'm only using Cursor, but like I have all of these installed. So I'm gonna install Windsurf. The reason why I'm doing that is because OpenAI is gonna buy this very soon, and once they buy this, I'm excited to see what they bring in, the kind of features they plan to bring in. So just because of that, I want to make sure that I'm familiar to the interface and everything, and so I'm gonna switch to Windsurf. With that being said, I'm gonna stop the stream. I will because the battery, I'm running out of battery, and I now, since it's almost 12 p.m., I need to start working. There's a lot of work that I have to do today. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys got to learn about something new. If you enjoyed the stream, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next stream. I really don't know when that is gonna happen, but that's gonna happen at some point. So yeah, thank you either way. I hope you have a good day too.